Hotty toddy Rebel fans, welcome to episode 11 of the Rebel Nation Conversation. I am you on Rebel Fan 69. My co-host across the aisle there is Themetalreb. Together we make up the Rebel Nation Conversation podcast, your one-stop shop for uninformed and non-expert Ole Miss sports conversation. Metal?
What's going on, everybody? Good to be back with you. We have a guest with us today, Big C over there. Say hello to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Big C and I have been friends a long time. We've known each other a long time. We're glad to have him today. He's going to jump in there and just help us break down this Sugar Bowl and talk about some of the other games coming up. Big week. Big week for Ole Miss.
Yeah, biggest week probably of all.
Yep.
What about the sponsorship there?
You got the portal opening.
Yep. What about the sponsorship there, Metal?
Forgot my own plug, man. Rebel Nation Conversation, unsullied by sponsorship since 2025.
Yes, sir. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, then you already know where to view us at. But for those of y'all catching up on TikTok, be sure to come to the YouTube channel and like and subscribe to us there. And that is at youtube.com/at the Rebel at the RN Convo. Excuse me, at the RN Convo. So so like you said, big week. We ain't had since our last talk. We hadn't really had a lot of happening because we ain't had another game since the home playoff game. But we got a big week coming up. So I kind of wanted to let's first off let's look back at some stuff I kind of wanted to talk about this because there's nothing to really go off on the news standpoint like we usually start out with Rebel Nation, But just kind of listening to the Neil and Chase podcast the other day, did you hear? Did both of y'all watch that one?
I didn't watch all of it.
Well, he did. They said something about that after all the comments that Pete's been making, somewhat about like maybe the ball goal not being there, not leading the team, and this that there might have been some truth to the comment that was made on the field in Norman after the game between them two, and that's be the first time I've heard of it. Metal, do you have any information, or Big C? You're there in town, so do you hear any?
I ain't heard anything about that. Honestly, I don't know what was said. I might have missed that one. I don't know what was said on the field at Norman. I know what a lot of fans thought Lane Kiffin said. But I ain't heard anything between Pete and.
So this is something that was said between Lane and Pete.
Between Lane and Pete,
I've heard nothing about that.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I live in a complete vacuum, but when they said that on the podcast, it's like, well, what the hell comment are they talking about?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. This is the first I've heard about that.
I heard they had a heated conversation after the Florida game, but I didn't hear anything about Oklahoma.
I kind of heard they had a little heated conversation too, but then I did speak with somebody else, another friend of mine there in Oxford that actually knows Pete pretty good, and Pete denied any kind of a confrontation. Of course, that's what you expect him to do. I don't expect Pete to try to play anything out in the public eye like Lane does. I'm just so daggum tired of Lane. I can't get him off my news feed, guys. I'm trying my best, but just no matter where I'm at,
I heard stories about Lane me and my wife was at the Velvet Ditch last night, and there was a lot of stories about Lane going around the table. So there was some people that actually know Lane pretty well at the table, and they were talking. They
Velvet Ditch owner.
He's just a weird cat.
Definitely a weird guy. But Pete's kind of taking some veiled shots at him, don't you think, Mel? I mean, just somewhat with like the basketball goal and
Yeah, it seems that way. I just think they are two very, very different human beings, obviously. And I don't think there's any love lost between those two guys. And man, September 19th, 2026 is going
That's
to be
looming
quite a party.
large. That's looming large.
It'll be fun.
And leading up to the game, Lane's going to be popping off left and right.
Oh, yeah, he'll be
And
trolling on Twitter all week.
oh yeah, he'll be trolling on Twitter. And as far as not being able to get away from him, I don't watch anything that if they're going to do some interview and I'm watching a show, I just turn it off. I can't stand it anymore. And
That's
so I'm
basically
just
what I'm doing
He
too.
gave his
yeah.
props last night, which he also let his coaches come back and coach us, even though that was already agreed upon by the coaches before they left on the planes. When they all left.
Are you talking about the interview he did in LSU's bowl game? Yeah,
Bowl game.
I did.
Yeah, it's
That must have been
I did
before he
not
left
see
early.
that.
it was
Right, he left early. Ain't that
Yeah,
nice?
He made sure
That's before.
he got his pictures with the tiger and all that on the field, and then left.
Yeah.
But you can't deny he's a great offensive football coach. He's just
We're going to miss him. I said last week, we're going to miss him. There's no doubt. We're not going to, we can't, there's no way I think we just pick right up like he never was here, but, or like he never left. But, man, at some point, don't we feel a little relieved that we ain't got to deal with this shit next year?
I mean, we'll see, man.
I'll tell you if we're relieved if we win 9 to 10 games next year.
Right. I sure enjoyed winning 10 games a year in spite of the BS. You know, and I know this isn't what you're saying, but I've heard several people say, "Oh, I'm glad he's gone." What?
Can't be
You know,
glad he's gone, but
we're gonna miss the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are what they are. Nobody else has done what he's done.
But he was ours for the past
Yeah,
5 years.
that's exactly right.
So,
I said a million times, man, we're gonna hate this guy when he's gone, and I was right.
yeah. I tell you what makes me mad is at the end of do y'all not just get mad at the LSU fans out there thinking we're just mad because he left though? That's the only reason we're whining. We're whining and crazy. We can't stop whining because we lost our coach. When that literally is not the reason why I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed for him holding us hostage for 3 weeks. That's what I'm hot. That's
it
what.
wasn't that he left us; it's the way he left.
So
Nobody in their right mind thought he was going to stay at Ole Miss forever. Hell, nobody thought he would stay as long as he did.
He won't stay at LSU 5-6 years.
But no, he won't stay at LSU as long as he stayed at Ole Miss. But you cannot leave an 11-1 team getting ready to host a playoff game. Who does that?
Only Lane, but
who does that?
he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay at Coastal freaking.
They offered him $91 million. The money wasn't the issue. There wasn't the money. We offered him the same amount they got. He wanted a bigger stadium. He wanted
bigger brand.
Stadium, bigger brand.
Yes, he wants a bigger brand, bigger stadium because he feels like, and this is not to oversimplify it, but I guess it is what it is. He feels like it's easier to win at LSU.
Yeah. And
If all things were equal, it's easier to bring the same recruit. The recruit's going
to LSU. Yeah,
to LSU if all things are equal. Yeah.
Right. He thinks it's easier, and he's right.
Ogeron won a title at LSU.
Yeah.
Well,
Right. That tells you.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing the fact that it may be easier, and I'm not arguing the fact that it's a bigger deal. I'm still just mad at the way he strung us along and wouldn't let us because we had 2 quality head football coaches wanting our job. But he waited till but they had to protect their interests further down the road when it got to where Lane wouldn't make a decision, and we couldn't, obviously we can't hire him. So
there's an interview of Pete a while back, and he was talking about something, and I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you guys later. But he says something about seeing the future at Ole Miss and kind of seeing where he could go and stay there for a long period of time. I honestly think after 2022, when he flirted with Auburn and was going to Auburn, that and DJ Durkin left us, they brought Pete in with the guarantee that when this happened again, because we all knew it was going to happen again, that Pete would be the head coach. I think they was looking at the other coaches too, but Pete was always the next guy up in Keith Carter's mind. I think that was the agreement, because then Ryan Brown said something too, that he left Louisville to come to Ole Miss because of the stability that he had with Pete Golden going forward. He knew that he'd have stability here. I think it was already agreed upon that when Lane took another job, Pete Golden would be the coach.
Well, I certainly can't argue with that, because it sure happened quick. Me and Metals already spoke about this.
Yeah, that's
wasn't even an interim tag used.
Yeah, no interim tag, just boom. But I tell you, you keep saying Lane strung us along for 3 weeks. Man, if you go back and watch everything, it's the moment he was gone, in my mind, was that post game after Florida.
Yep.
He said some weird things in that post game interview, and just had so many opportunities to plug our program and wouldn't do it, and just it was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I knew right then we had no chance to keep that guy.
Yeah, the Heisman Trophy.
Right before then is when he found out that he wasn't going to be coaching the playoffs if he took another job.
Right, and he was pissed, and you could tell.
He stopped wearing the Ole Miss gear. He stopped wearing all that stuff. He stopped doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
He was gone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He really checked out when he found out he would not be coaching the playoffs. Well, but his decision was made.
I guess strung along is a wrong choice of words, but what I'm saying is he wouldn't give us a definitive answer to where we could move forward. We couldn't make that decision and move forward.
We knew what he was going to do, but he wouldn't say it. He knew he was gone when the Florida job came open. When the LSU job came open, he knew he had options.
Yep.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. And the reason he strung along because he figured that if he strung along long enough, there was a better chance of him coaching the playoffs. Because then, if Auburn would have pulled it out like they always did, they would, they'd have been a SEC title game, and he would have got to coach that game.
Yeah.
And then the next week you've been playing. You either had a bye week or you've been playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's a false narrative out there too about his new job. LSU is not, and I don't have it in front of me, but you can do about 5 minutes of research and you can see that I'm telling the truth. LSU has a lot of seasons where they lose 3, 4, 5 games.
Oh, yeah.
They just do. They're not like in Alabama or Georgia, where a bad year is 10-2. Them suckers will go 8-4 in a heartbeat, sometimes worse.
But
we just saw it. So they are kind of a feast or famine type program. Now their ceiling is as high as you can get. We all know they've had 3 different coaches win national championship over the last 20 years. You can win there. There's no doubt about it. But man, that program also has the potential to just implode. And him going over there, everybody thinks, that guarantees LSU's going to win a natty. Not to me.
Well,
he had perfect chemistry.
Louisiana.
And yeah. It's just that could be a powder keg, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's something I've kind of noticed just leading up to that Tulane game. He might have met his Twitter match, that damn Governor Landry over there.
Yeah.
Landry, is back and forth with Tate Reeves, trying to just talk crap left and freaking right. Just very weird exchange for an elected official to me. But
I've said this. Landry is I feel like he is the next Huey P. Long of Louisiana.
Maybe so. Our Ross Barnett crap.
That's the feeling I get.
You feel like Landry what?
I said Landry's like the next Huey P. Long of Louisiana. That's the kind of feeling I get from him.
He wouldn't even acknowledge that Tulane was in the playoffs.
He blocked
a Louisiana
team, the defensive coordinator as their coach.
And Tulane right there in New Orleans, but that just shows what we already know. In Louisiana, buddy, it's all LSU.
Yep.
That's what we ain't got here in Mississippi, and it hurts us.
It's one SEC.
And, we got 3 million people. Louisiana's got what? 8 million? 7 million?
Yeah,
just because New Orleans.
Lowest population in the SEC footprint.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 SEC schools and a third. Yeah. But that third, me and you've done talked about this, man. That third's not. We're not losing anything to them, but it is hurting.
No.
The Mississippi State hurts us. All right. Let's, I guess, move on. The other thing that I did want to bring up here is I know I watch it a lot. Metal, I don't know if you watch a good bit of it. Chance, I know either. The Pete's Pigskin preview. Love that show. I do. I enjoy it because I think that guy is probably one of the better. He talks to us and lays out that film in something that I can understand because I can't. You can break down scheme all you want to, and I'm trying to pick it up, but I've just never been a coach. But there was something else. So I'm not putting down Pete DeWeese. So that's what I want to say. I'm not putting down Neil either, but evidently, Metal, me and you don't know ball. And what I'm going to say there is that they both, literally both, and I also seen Chase say it on the Neil and Chase one the other day too, that they blamed that fumble 100% on Diggs, not on Simmons.
What fumble are you talking about?
The Austin Simmons
missed the block.
Oh,
yeah, they're blaming the fumble, not the sack, the fumble on Diggs.
Who blamed it on Diggs?
Pete DeWeese of Pete's Pigskin preview, as well as
Pete DeWeese is wrong.
Oh,
Bill freaking Belichick is wrong if he blames it on Diggs.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not putting down Pete DeWeese. I found everything else. That's just don't agree with that right there. I can blame, like you said last week, you said it perfectly. We can blame the sack on Diggs, but you got to hold the freaking football. The
quarterbacks get sacked all the time without fumbling. That's a thing. You can't get sacked without fumbling.
I think Chase was talking when he said it. He was talking about. They were talking about how much better a pass blocker Keywan Lacey is than Diggs.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have been in there. Simmons wouldn't have got hit.
Right. I wished I had laid down this. I wished I had wrote this stat down that Chase actually did. But he said it in that deal. Out of something like 100 and something pass blocking opportunities, only 2 pressures. 2 pressures. Well, if it very well could have been. I mean, hell, I've slept.
No. I think you're right. But yeah, it was a crazy stat.
Only like 2 times the guy got around him and pressured the quarterback.
Yep. So
is that amazing?
Big C, how do you see it? Can you blame the fumble on Diggs too?
Well, Simmons, you can because it's the blind. Now, if it wasn't the blindside block, it would be all on Simmons. But because it was the blindside block, I would put more of it on Diggs because it is the blindside. Because he's left-handed. If he was right, if it's Chambliss back there, he's right-handed. No, if he fumbles, he sees the guy coming. Simmons don't see the guy coming. But we also know Austin Simmons is, and maybe he'll get better with time, but he's good for 2 turnovers a game.
Man,
Yeah.
he ain't
I
it,
wouldn't put
dude.
that one on Diggs because it's a blindside block.
I'm not going. I still can't put the drop of the ball 100%. Yeah, it's a contributing factor. It definitely did come from the blind side because he's lefty. But later in the game, and I brought this up last week, Daquan Wright had caught a ball out in the left hand, was running up the left hand sideline, and ran into some traffic and got tackled from behind. He never saw the tackle coming, and he held the ball.
Yeah, but
And Simmons was not in a throwing motion.
I'll say this:
If Simmons
when
was,
you're running like that, you're expecting to be hit, so you're holding the ball tighter. The quarterback's looking downfield with his back to somewhere. I ain't saying it's all on Diggs, but I would say he carries the bigger part of the load on that phone.
And I would even agree with that if we hadn't seen Simmons turn a ball over so frequently.
That's what I said. He's
But
good for 2
man,
turnovers a game.
yeah, man.
And how many turnovers have Chambliss had? 2 all season? 3 all season? I might.
Think about this. Simmons has more turnovers than Chambliss. And I don't know what the number is, but consider how many more plays Chambliss has.
he's only started 2 games, and he's only got
Yeah,
hit 2 other times.
yeah.
Other than the mop up stuff.
But
Man, I
yeah,
honestly,
look, this is also still a 19-year-old that has a master's degree at this point because he's been playing. He come into college at 16, but he's still only 19. So he's just now hitting that maturation process as most of the other guys did when they got on campus their sophomore year.
I'm hearing that it's looking more and more like no 6-year for Trinidad. You hearing that, Big C?
Yep. Well, now Mars, he's hiring Mars, and so he hired. I forget his first name. Same guy that Houston did when they would never Hugh Freeze.
Tom Mars.
Tom Mars, that's right. And so he's representing now. But I ain't gonna be mad if we keep Austin Simmons next year.
So that was my question. So if Chambliss is indeed gone, and let's just say he is, because even if he gets another year, that doesn't mean he stays at Ole Miss. So let's say we don't have him. How aggressive do we want to get and going to get another quarterback?
We'll have a veteran quarterback or a veteran college quarterback come in. I agree.
You're saying even if Simmons stays?
Yeah, but even if Simmons goes, I know where he won't be going.
LSU?
He won't be going to LSU.
Is that because of dad?
I just don't think that they the situation this year. I just think it kind of ruined them all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe.
a lot of people believe you don't lose your position to injury, but you also, I see why we kept Trinidad in there. I mean, he had the hot hand. He was rolling.
Yeah, man, that's one I got to stay with Lane on, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too. I honestly don't see why he wouldn't. I honestly cannot.
All we saw from him, and everybody thought it was just like the golden child because they had one drive against Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the game. He did. Believe me, I loved him. It was awesome. But that's all. That's all we had to go on was that one drive against Georgia,
which was a gutsiest drive I've ever seen by any quarterback at this moment. You don't know the truth.
Yeah. And the ball flies out of his hand like a rocket, man. It's just his arm strength is.
He can fit a tight window for sure.
He's got a quick release. When he does, though, he's got a quick release and the ball fly. He throws a great tight spot. He throws a way better ball than Trinidad does. Trinidad he's got more of a feel for it than Austin
Yeah.
does. And maybe
He's a
because he's
winner,
played
man.
more. Yeah. So,
Just play more games, right? You're right.
yeah.
If we could have known how he was going to be and started him at the start of the year, Metal, I know you know, I've said it before that he would have had to be in New York, don't you think? For that, wouldn't he had to be in that conversation?
You would think, man, because
Having a plug for him.
the two games he didn't start were against trash defenses, so he would have piled up crazy
Lit out.
numbers.
But you would
I think.
also have to have a coach that's going to plug for your players. And even if you're not coming back to coach us anymore, you still plug for him and Keywan. Both of them had shots at being in New York, and they should have been up there. I mean, Keywan Lacey's the best running
Keywan
back
should
in
have
the
been
nation.
up there.
Yeah,
If you ask
Keywan's the
me,
best running back in the nation.
yeah.
Trinidad, he should have been a top 4. I ain't gonna say he should have won it, but he should have been in New York. But
You think we got any chance to
plugging
keep
for them
Keywan?
players. $1.8 million, 1.8 million chances. I'm guessing.
There's one good thing about that offer. If he does go to LSU, we just made LSU pull out a frickin' checkbook.
Well, we
You
need
just
another
wonder
coaching
if
staff.
Lane's pride will let him be outbid.
That's
For
why they're
somebody who
paying
wants.
their offensive coordinator like $2.7 million a year, and their running backs coach $1 million a year because of his pride.
All right. If he goes to LSU, say LSU gives him 1.9 million, and that running backs coach makes 1 million, he going to make more than his position coach?
That's where we're at, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how the NFL is too. Most of the players make way
Yeah,
more than the coaches.
Yeah, they make more than the coaches. You're right, except for the head coach.
that's where we're at.
Good God. Oh,
I've been trying to figure out a way I could get some eligibility or something. Take a knee.
Man, no kidding.
Yeah. I can be like
No
that
kidding.
40-year-old over at that
I,
at 3A school or whatever.
and I've got it figured out my position already. As I've always thought, there needs to be a position on the field called the shitty punter. All right, and what that is when you're just outside a field goal range, but you can't punt the ball either. You know what I mean? You need somebody that the best punt he hits it. The best punt he hits is going to be a 20-yarder. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm
you're
punter.
talking about the guy that punts when you're at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, when you don't have a guy that's got a 52-yarder in his leg for the field goal from the 35-yard line, well, now I can punt that ball and pin them pin them down there inside the 10.
You know, I'll say this, and then you guys can comment on it, and we'll wrap this segment up. But when NIL first became a thing, and when it first happened, name, image, likeness, I knew it would get out of control just because of the human condition. But to me, getting out of control, I was sitting here thinking to myself, my dumb, stupid self, man, at some point, somebody's going to pay a kid $100,000 a year to play football in college.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we go from here, man? What? Everybody says you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Okay, I actually agree with that. But what does 5 years from now look like?
Yeah, put a stop.
Well, at some point they're going to have to come up with some form of salary cap. But when they come up with that, you're going to have players and schools agree to it, and so there's going to be some form of players union.
Well, with revenue sharing,
they're going to have to be like the owners.
All right, well, understand, revenue sharing is the only pay-to-play we have.
Yeah.
by the technicality of it, that's the only pay to play we're going to have is rev sharing. NIL is still only for name, image, and likeness. It's no different than Cannon Motors hiring the head coach to do it. It ain't got nothing to do with their playing on the field. It's not tied to their play. That's why we couldn't.
Way to cap NIL at a certain. But then, how can you?
And then you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen when they cap NIL?
No.
Same thing that happened the last.
Carrying the money through the back door again.
Yeah.
Same
thing that's been going in college football since
we got
100 years.
He said the only thing difference now is we can walk through the front door with it. We used to have to walk through the back.
That's it.
We're going to have to dust off the network.
Yeah, I guess so.
Get them boys in Starkville over there a little pissed off again. Yeah, it's but here, rev sharing. No, the one thing that is bringing it in now is the NCAA has to approve. That's got to all NIL stuff now has to go through clearinghouse.
Yeah, but don't they only have like 5 to 10 people working in that department?
Shit, if I know. I don't know. Tyler Siskey's the one. Tyler Siskey understands it really well, but he can go over my head real quick in his explanations of it. Because it gets real tough. Oh, I do too.
And you shouldn't have to have a law degree to be able to understand how this works. Yeah. That's another thing that aggravates me. It's so complicated, and that's done on purpose.
Yeah. All right, so basically, the rev share, we know that's $20.5 million, but it ain't technically the full 20.5. $2 million, I think, is what Chase told me goes to admin type stuff. So it's only $18.5 million goes to
18.5, yeah.
Goes to actual athletes, and how much of that, and that's got to go across all sports. So
yeah,
football. If you're any school not named Duke or Kentucky, football's the breadwinner of the school. They're going to get the lion's share of the rev share. Where it comes in for the NIL, though, is take like Texas versus Ole Miss when it comes to running NIL. Texas, for some reason, attracted Warby Parker, and they can run a $2 million ad campaign using Arch Manning, and that work fits the market value of a commercial. But us, we got Realtree, which, don't get me wrong, Realtree is a very large camo company, but it's still a niche market. We're talking about just for outdoorsmen type people, and that's still
with a big baseball company. They're going to get a lot.
I heard they just gave Georgia a bunch of cars. Does that sound right?
Realtree?
I hadn't saw that.
Yeah, that can't be right, can it?
I've been limited.
I hadn't.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'll allow that.
I ain't heard that.
Okay, maybe I made.
Maybe we got some.
When you talk about Realtree, it's they're branching their brand out to like.
Well, they are, but it's still a niche right now. Is what I was getting at.
Right.
So us we can't give Realtree ain't gonna be able to do a $2 million because it's not gonna clear clearinghouse. They're gonna say, wait a minute, that's a little bit like overpaying for a camera.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's not whether or not they're willing to come up with the money. It's not going to meet approval,
and we're not going to be able to give it.
Yeah.
As Tyler Siskey has said, there's an SEC school. I've got my suspicion of which one it is. He hasn't never said, but there's an SEC school out there right now with the money. They got the money to pay the NIL, but no way to pay it. They got no way to channel it to the player.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Arkansas.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I mean, get them to a Walmart commercial.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Get them over
that would be
a commercial for the Cowboys.
Can you imagine? I mean, that's unlimited capital right there at your fingertip.
That makes sense.
Unlimited capital. But you want to wrap up this segment, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that is all we have here for episode 11. I want to thank Big C for joining us today. It has truly been a pleasure. Please, if you like what we are putting out there, please subscribe, like, and share, and as always, comment. Let us know what we can do better. And please come back on Thursday for episode 12. Big C is going to stick around here and join us for that episode as well. So until Thursday, fellas, hotty toddy, Rebel fans.
Howdy, toddy.
All right, Toddy.